Tonight, a man wanted for killing his wife in Bath County has been arrested. How police say they found him and what his family told us today.
A Southern Kentucky father is in jail accused of letting his 2-year-old child wander alone outside. Police say he was inside asleep and he had been using marijuana.
Doctors call it one of the scariest drugs yet, and they're sounding the alarm now that it's showing up in central Kentucky.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. A more than week-long search for a Bath County man accused of killing his wife has ended tonight. Police say he's now in custody.
They say police in Gibson County, Indiana, near Evansville, arrested Christopher White this morning, and it comes a day after his family talked to us pleading for him to turn himself in. Victor Puente tells us how police say they found White. It's our top story at 6.
A phone call this morning ended the search that lasted more than a week. Once Christopher White is back in Kentucky, he'll answer to charges that he shot and killed his wife. The sheriff of Gibson County, Indiana, told us White contacted them this morning and said he thought he might have been wanted in Kentucky. He waived his extradition and should be heading back here in the coming days. Yesterday, White's sister told us he said he wouldn't go back to jail. So today, that news was a relief.
I was afraid that we'd find out that Chris was dead.
White is wanted for the murder of his wife, Judy White. Her body was found August 24th at their home. Police say she had been shot multiple times. Angela White said she believes her brother is responsible.
So I went to the visitation and I went to the funeral because she was a big part of our family, and regardless, I mean, you know, I was going to be there. And for my nephew.
She also says she believes the drug addiction he had been battling for years is to blame.
I know it's still a long road, and I know it's going to be hard. I know that prison's not the best thing, but to us it is. At least he's still alive. And I know that that's hard for Judy's family, and she didn't deserve this. I know that. She was an awesome woman. We loved her very much.
State police tell me that because White waived extradition, getting him back into Kentucky is just a matter of scheduling. They say he could be back in the next couple of days. In Bath County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Family members say that Christopher and Judy White have a 16-year-old son. Now, Lexington police now say a deadly stabbing appears to be a case of self-defense. They say 40-year-old Timothy Jones was stabbed by a neighbor last night at a home on North Martin Luther King Boulevard. Police say Jones later died at UK Hospital. They say he and the neighbor had an ongoing dispute. And police say Jones approached his neighbor last night armed with a rifle. So the neighbor defended himself with a knife. At this point, no charges have been filed.
New tonight, state police have arrested a Clay County man for the shooting deaths of his father and stepmother. Police charged 35-year-old Gregory Jackson with murder, burglary, evidence tampering, and theft. The arrest came after a 9-month investigation. Last December, police say they found Leon and Shirley Jackson dead at their home on Birchall Branch Road in Clay County. So far, police have not said what they think led to the murders. An energy crew on a routine job made an unexpected discovery in Laurel County. Police say the crew found a 2-year-old child walking alone in the middle of the road. Police later arrested the child's father, 22-year-old Alexander LeBeau. New at 6, Phil Pendleton tells us what police say LeBeau was doing when the child wandered off.
It was just after 10 o'clock Thursday morning, and police say an electric crew was traveling on O. Johnson Road near London.
A 2-year-old child playing in the road, walking in the road, and there was a residence nearby, and they tried to bang on the door and tried to get somebody to come to the door, and nobody wouldn't come to the door.
The utility then called police, and deputies found the father inside, the back door standing wide open.
And we found him asleep, the father asleep inside the residence. We detected a strong odor of marijuana emitting from him. We found marijuana in the residence.
22-year-old Alexander LeBeau was arrested and taken to jail. I went to the home and a man answered the door claiming that this was all just a big misunderstanding. He says simply the child wandered outside while his parents were inside asleep. But police say the mother was not there and arrived during the investigation, telling them that she had left the child in the care of his father.
And she said that she had woke him up and said, you know, you need to watch the child while I'm gone. And apparently he did not.
LeBeau is charged with wanton endangerment, possession of marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. Police say this is their third case of a troubling incident involving a child in 1 week.
The child could have got run over. It could have wandered off.
Police say social services were called. The child was placed in the care of another relative. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Neighbors told us they have seen the child wander off before, and sometimes they found him in their backyards.
In the last few weeks, you've probably heard about a sudden surge in the number of drug overdoses in Kentucky and neighboring states. Today, the state issued a warning about fentanyl-laced heroin, calling it a public health crisis. And now there's something even stronger than fentanyl that's showing up right here in central Kentucky. WKYT's investigative reporter Miranda Combs explains. It's a troubling trend.
The heroin has really become a problem.
How to treat the drug epidemic.
Several heroin overdoses, bad batch of heroin.
5 people have died from heroin.
They call it the heroin slump.
A dozen overdoses.
It's just been getting worse.
It's not going away anytime soon.
And the stories are getting more painful to recall.
I woke up like gasping for breath, like trying to rip tubes out of me.
And the ones that are trying to save them, policymakers,
And this danger is out there.
law enforcement,
They don't realize how dangerous it can be.
and prosecutors.
If we can't get in front of this, that is a tragic trend that is going to continue.
It's hard to hit a moving target. Last year it was fentanyl, which at the time was said to be the most dangerous drug out there. But it's not anymore.
It'd be very unusual to have a day when we didn't see any. We've had as many as 5 or 6 in a 2 or 3 hour period before.
Carfentanil, known on the street as elephant heroin, is a drug we'd been hearing about for a few months. We couldn't confirm it had reached central Kentucky until now.
So I can safely say that carfentanil's here now.
Well, that's certainly our assumption, yes.
Carfentanil, Dr. Charles Eckerline says, is 100 to 1,000 times stronger than fentanyl. The antidote naloxone can work on carfentanil, but it's harder, takes more doses, and many times it's too late.
It will work, but it sometimes requires more. And again, Narcan isn't perfect. Sometimes the patients still require intubation and ventilatory support.
This problem of heroin cocktail overdoses has forced police to go to lengths we've never seen before. Facebook posts warning people they're usually trying to bust.
People need to know that this is pure poison.
U.S. Attorney Kerry Harvey was the first to tell us about fentanyl last year. But the drug game is constantly changing, and the results are getting worse.
People are dying in our communities in record numbers.
There's no quality control among drug dealers. People cut drugs with a lot of different things. You never know what you're getting. You never know the concentration, the potency, the combination.
Carfentanil is the scariest drug yet, but that was said last year with fentanyl. Makes those trying to save lives on all fronts worry. What's next?
It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Since July 1st of this year, UK has seen 52 overdose cases in the emergency room. That's a significant increase for UK. Dr. Eckerline said that many times those that show up at the hospital often get up and leave right after they wake up and don't wait for rehab options.
Frightening. So heroin, fentanyl, carfentanil, those aren't the only ones out there right now, right?
Actually, the doctor invited us out to talk about synthetic marijuana, which they're seeing a lot of in the ER as well. And you know that we've done that before. That's very dangerous to the staff at the hospital and the patients as well. So they're seeing everything, and it's all extremely dangerous.
So hard to wrap your mind and comprehend all of this, Miranda. Thank you. Well, switching gears now, we have been waiting for it all week, and today much better weather has arrived here in the Bluegrass. As Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tells us, it should stick around for a few days.
Yeah, it's going to carry us right on into that Labor Day weekend, as we've been talking about for a little while now, and right on cue, September, starting with this. A lot of gorgeous skies across central and eastern Kentucky. A little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of sunshine. Overall, just giving that evening sunset some added flavor, if you will. We're looking at 9 live sky cams across the entire region. Mix of sun and clouds, but over the next hour, watch how quickly we begin to lose a lot of the clouds. Upper 70s into just about all of central and eastern Kentucky except one location. Don't have to look too hard to figure out the oddball of that temperature map across the bluegrass region especially. Everybody else mid and upper 70s. Go to the north, we see upper 60s to low 70s into parts of Indiana and Ohio on that strong northerly wind that will continue to usher in some of the good stuff as that cold front that we were talking about yesterday right on top of the area, it continues to drop in from northwest to southeast. So great weather moves in, pleasant temperatures, and that bodes well for the Labor Day weekend forecast that I will break down in greater detail. New hour-by-hour forecast, guys, minutes away.
Chris, thank you. New tonight, the University of Kentucky has filed a lawsuit against its student newspaper, the Kentucky Colonel. It stems from the newspaper's request for UK to release documents in a sexual assault and harassment case. The university denied the request, but the Kentucky Attorney General's office issued an opinion saying UK violated the open records law. UK's lawsuit seeks to appeal the Attorney General's opinion. In a statement, UK leaders say they are trying to protect sexual assault and harassment victims. The Colonel says it will answer to the lawsuit next week. New tonight, a 16-year-old boy now faces charges for a shooting that injured his friend.
Lexington police charged the teenager with second-degree assault. On Tuesday night, police say the 16-year-old, the 14-year-old, and a third friend were playing with a gun at the Raintree Apartments on North Locust Hill Drive. Police say at one point the gun fired and the 14-year-old was shot in the neck. He's still recovering in the hospital. Police say the teenagers first claimed there had been a drive-by shooting.
Kentucky State University has announced a new program it hopes will help every student there. The details next.
And then a store plans to close, marking the end of an era for movie fans in Lexington.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
New tonight, Kentucky State University leaders say they've come up with a way to save students some money.
The university is now offering e-textbooks to all students for free. It's part of a partnership with the Pearson Learning Company. And KSU is offering a book scholarship to each student. KSU leaders say they hope the new program helps students.
A lot of students are saving a lot of money, but of course, as you said, a lot of students are very skeptical about it. What does free mean? Is it actually free? So for example, I mentioned the $195 charge. Students are saying, well, I'm being charged. Well, yes, it's showing on there that you are being charged, but it's going to be covered.
KSU officials say they are the only university in Kentucky working with Pearson to deliver digital course materials for all students.
After years in business, a Lexington movie theater will be closing next week. Workers at Cinemark's Woodhill Movies 10 told us the theater will shut down Monday. Cinemark reported that revenue for the theater has been declining over the last year. It's the second time in the last year a theater on the east side of Lexington has closed. Movie Tavern moved from the Richmond Road area to Brannon Crossing in Jessamine County. Also new tonight, Lexington's last brick-and-mortar video rental store has announced it will close. In a Facebook post this morning, Premier Home Video in the Heartland Shopping Center says it's closing at the end of November. Store owners say the costs of rent and maintenance have been increasing every year, and it's become too expensive to keep the store open.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
A lot of nice weather out there today, huh? Hello, September, with temperatures today much cooler than yesterday. And keep in mind, yesterday at this time, we were already coming down because of some clouds and some showers and thunderstorms. A little look outside, comparing those numbers. How about you, London? 10 degrees cooler than at this same point yesterday, up mid to upper 70s. Into all of central and eastern Kentucky, and that is going to be the trend. 80 out at the airport, that's ridiculous. 76 here at the station, 76 out at the Mesonet site as well. We look elsewhere across central and eastern Kentucky. Nothing going on in terms of precipitation. Yeah, we need a little bit of dry weather, and we're going to get it over the next several days. I think most of this month of September is likely to come in drier than normal. Maybe a dry fall taking shape. Could be. 56 tomorrow morning, 77 on a dry Friday afternoon. Humidity levels are down. Mix of sun and clouds will be out there as well. High pressure across the Great Lakes, ushering in the early fall temperatures across not only Kentucky, but we're not going to be greedy. We'll share this nice weather with our neighbors to the north, the south, the west, and especially the east. That flow again coming out of Canada. Hour-by-hour forecast out and about this evening. Quick drop into the mid-60s after sunset, and early tomorrow morning a lot of upper 50s will show up with a little bit of cloud cover out there. Noon tomorrow, low 70s. 5 o'clock on your Friday, staring down that long holiday weekend getaway day for many of you, mid and upper 70s at that point. Friday evening out on the town, high school football fields, we're in good shape with a lot of 60s that will show up by 10 and 11 o'clock. Let's go into Saturday. Cue those low and mid 50s, and during the afternoon, again, you'll see a little bit of high cloud cover from time to time. We'll be into the upper 70s to low 80s. Quick drop on Saturday evening. Fairly dry air in place, and that usually allows for some pretty rapid drops as soon as the sun sets, and that'll carry us into Sunday morning as readings will be down into the 50s for what will likely be the third consecutive day. And speaking of 3-day threat track, nothing to really talk about around here, so that's good news. Let's take you to an area that isn't getting in on some good news. This is Hurricane Hermine, and this developed into a minimal hurricane this afternoon. Look at those spiraling feeder bands of showers and thunderstorms out ahead of that, likely to produce better than 10 to 15 inches of rain into parts of Florida. Tornadoes possible with a landfalling tropical system as well. And this storm, at least the center of it, is roughly 45-50 miles offshore. Should come ashore later this evening into the Apalachicola area of Florida. And from there, it's going to skirt up the eastern seaboard. It may hold together all the way through the Carolinas. If it gets offshore, could strengthen again off the coast of New England. Back here, it is mainly dry right on through Labor Day. Middle of next week, we're back into the steamy pattern that can produce a scattered storm or two. But boy, I'll tell you what, timing on this Labor Day weekend forecast, about as good as you can get.
College football, here we come.
It's back, and it looks good weather-wise.
It does. Thank you.
Brian's up next, and we have college football, speaking of, starting tonight in Georgetown.
Yeah, the Tigers began their 2016 campaign ranked 18th in NAIA. We've got a preview of the G-men and how good is Southern Miss quarterback Nick Mullins. Well, his coach says he is NFL good. Sports is on the way. The football Wildcats just got off the playing field a few minutes ago, the practice field, as Mark Stoops' team had their walkthrough. UK will have a run-through tomorrow. Southern Miss quarterback Nick Mullins can play. I'll get to him in a second. Mark Stoops was a defensive back when he played football, and he knows he's got one heck of a secondary, but he might stay harder on them than anyone.
I'm never taking my foot off their neck, and but you know, they've got to go back it up too. And they've got to go play, and they're going to, if you play defensive back, if you play corner, you're going to give up some passes. That's just the way it is. But it's on to the next play, and we have to win our fair share. So I don't think, you know, there's anybody out here ready to believe that they're going to go a whole season without giving up any contested plays. I don't think that's the case. But, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll have to answer that as we go.
As for Southern Miss quarterback Nick Mullins, he was just a two-star recruit out of Spain Park, Alabama, but Mullins has blossomed as a Golden Eagle, a 3-year starter. Mullins ranked 6th among FBS quarterbacks in passing yardage last year with nearly 4,000 yards. His first-year coach, Jay Hobson, calls him an NFL quarterback.
I haven't played a game with Nick yet, but I can tell you this, he's a player that I am just impressed. You know, when I watch Nick and the way he handles himself and the way he throws the ball, just the overall leader, and you know, I'm a Nick Mullins fan. I can tell you that right now. I mean, he's a guy that we're going to need to make big plays for us throughout the year. You know, I think that's one thing. Nick has been the gun to our program, and we need him to continue to be that gun.
2 days away from kickoff at Commonwealth Stadium. 2, the number worn by Dorian Baker, some guy named Tim Couch, Bud Dupree, Shane Boyd, and Greg Woods. 2 is also the number of passes Chris Westry picked off last season as a true freshman, and UK officially has won 2 SEC championships, 1950 and 1976. Go to WKYT.com for more information on our countdown to kickoff. So it's the Wildcats, Southern Miss. It will be Saturday night. 7:30 is the kick, Commonwealth Stadium. If you cannot get out to the stadium, ESPNU is where you can see it. Coming up in a little less than 30 minutes from now, Georgetown College will kick off the season in search of its 7th straight win. The Tigers finished the season a year ago, winning their last 6 in a row after starting 0-4. Georgetown coach Bill Cronin said his team will build on the way it ended last year.
We grew a lot through that experience, and adversity is something that you're going to be faced with every day in life, and I think our guys really understood the value of sticking to something, being persistent, and growing together during that whole time. So I don't know. I think a lot of good came from that, and at least that's the direction we're going to go with it.
Sounds good to me. We will have highlights tonight at 11 o'clock. Sam, Amber, back to you.
And a final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, another U.S. city is dealing with lead contamination, and now more than 1,000 people are being forced to move.